Hey everybody, it's Jim here, and today is going to be the first of a few mini lessons I have planned for improving as a rhythm guitarist. Today is going to be a really simple one. It's just going to be addition via subtraction. When you're looking at the context of playing in a band and in a song, sometimes you have to alter how you play or how you voice certain chords in order to leave space for the rest of the band or the arrangement. So what we're going to be doing is we're just going to be taking a simple B minor to A progression here. We're going to be vamping on it, showing a few different ways to playing it and a few ways that you can make it kind of your own and make it really unique sounding. Now, there are a few different ways you can play this progression, but probably the most common, if someone wants to just say, play a B minor into an A, you're going to start here on the 2nd fret, play the minor bar chord into the actual open chord of an A. So if we're talking about kind of how that would sound, so that will work in the concept of thing, but what I want to do is here, we're going to be playing this in a different spot because it's going to allow us to kind of voice things a little bit differently. So we're going to start with the B minor chord here up on the 7th fret. And then our A major chord here on the 5th fret barred. So again, just kind of the same thing. Very vanilla, very plain Jane, something that you would hear a million times over. It doesn't really sound special. It will get the job done, but it also can be a little bit overbearing because of the amount of bass string that is introduced once you're starting to bar chord things. I find when you're writing in verses or when I'm writing in verses, I try to stay away from kind of using the top 2 strings here when I'm doing those chords, although sometimes one of the first alterations people will do to kind of remove a few notes or subtract them, as I alluded to in the title of this video, you're going to do the Hendrix, which is going to be barring over with your thumb. Something like that also works a little bit, and it leaves a little bit more space for the bass guitar, but what I want to do is break this down even further. We're going to be looking at the triads here. So breaking this down in the triads here, we're going to have the 9th fret of the D string here, and then the 7th of the G and the B. Those are the only 3 of the strings that we're going to want to be focusing on for the rest of this. And now we're going to be using the same 3 strings in a different location to create the A major triad, which is just the A on the 7th fret here of the D string, the 6th fret of the G string, and the 5th fret of the B string. And if you don't know anything about theory, basically that's just the 1st, or the root, the 3rd, and the 5th. So 1, 3, 5. And that's the same thing here when you apply it to the minor. Just the 1st, the 3rd, and the 5th. That's how you build those triads. So try this again with just kind of jamming on those. All right, so now that we know what the triad sounds like, let's break it down a little bit further here. We're going to be removing the root note for the 2nd half of the phrase before we switch from the B minor to the A, and we're only going to be playing the 3rd and the 5th, so the G and the B strings right there. Not the notes, the strings. That's important to remember here. So now that alone adds a little bit. We haven't changed the chord, we haven't altered the chord. All we're doing is subtracting one of the notes in each of the 2 separate sections that are playing the B minor. Do the same thing here with the A. So if you were to put that all together here, See, that sounds so much more alive and it has a little bit more personality to it. And really, we're playing the most basic of chords here. It's still just a regular old B minor into a regular old A major. It's just when you subtract one or two notes here and there, it can make a substantial difference in just the overall tonal qualities to it. And again, the goal here is to write something that's going to sit well with the rest of the band. Now, the last part of this lesson we're going to be going over is adding in the fourth. So the fourth is just going to be this note right here on the ninth string of the G. That's going to be our fourth for the B minor triad here, which is also going to be known as the E, the actual note E. So you see octave here. And this is where coming into knowing your fretboard up and down is going to help you a lot. But for the sake of this lesson, we're just going to focus on adding in the fourth for this specific B minor, which is an E. So as you can hear, we haven't done a whole lot, and that sounds a lot more interesting than just... or... Now, at the end of that example, we added in the fourth here, and if you started to get confused, it might be time that you start taking your theory a little bit more seriously and things like that, because even though you might be able to play it, understanding what you're playing and knowing that there is an actual method to all of this madness that is music theory, even at a basic level, will do wonders for your ability to be able to write and compose on your instrument and also communicate with other musicians given the opportunity. So what I want you to take away from this lesson, if anything, if this was something that was helpful to you, you can do this with any chord anywhere up and down the neck. Break things down. Don't always play things the same exact way. A lot of times we look for new songs to play, new kind of ideas to do, and that's good. That's always really good, but sometimes you already have the keys to be able to initiate a change here. It's just removing things. We're always looking to add things. I think that subtraction is a tool that I use a lot and I think is underutilized from people within the rhythm world as a whole these days. It just wants to sound big, 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 and that's fine, but there's a time and a place for that. So that's going to be where I'm going to wrap up this first little mini lesson. Again, if you're serious about learning your music theory, I'm going to be doing a little bit more about things like this. However, I cannot recommend enough if you are just kind of familiar with the language of theory and you're not really solid, you want to go to the next level, check out the Signals Studio. That music course is amazing. I can't recommend it enough. It really does work. It's well worth the money. It will do you a hell of a lot more than purchasing a new piece of gear. It will make you get the most out of the gear you already have. I do have an affiliate link for that down below, but I mean, seriously, even if I didn't, I've preached this since day one of this channel. You need to have a basic understanding of theory. But that's all I have for you guys today. Tomorrow we're going to be checking out the new guitar from Audiomo Music. I'm super excited for that video. If you have any kind of requests for basic kind of lessons like this, you guys did say you wanted me to give you some tips and tricks here, so I thought this would be a good, basic, easy way to start that's very kind of digestible, I feel like, and not kind of overbearing should you not know too much theory. But I'm open to ideas and anything that can help you guys going forward in your musical journeys where I am able to help you. Leave a like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you tomorrow for that new guitar. Take it easy, everybody.